Hey guys, welcome back to Papa Lauda, and welcome back to Café Enchanté. We're gonna go frickin' have a nice long conversation with Karya and see what he wants to do, if he wants to stay in the human world and die an early death, or if he wants to go to Medio and live but be far away from his family and stuff. The Government Paranormalism Measures, or the GPM, where Mr. Rindo is employed. I've heard so much about this organization so far, including how it's an organization with a lot of history, dating back to the Heian period. But before the war, its goal was to eliminate non-humans, but now it's a peaceful entity. There's a branch in each prefecture of Japan. Prefecture? There we go. And they all report to the Shinjuku branch. But whoa! I didn't realize they were this big of an organization. Wow, this is a pretty big building.
古今東西の古典的手法だね。木を隠すなら森の中ってね。
しかし、今更だが、アンシャンテの留守をイル一人に任せて大丈夫なのだろうか。
Oh god, we left Eel?
仕方ねえだろ。空気読めねえあいつ連れてくると、同性論でカリアとかいうやつ追い詰めそうだし。
That's true.
それはそうなのだが。
新作の乙女ゲームをやるって言ってたし、特に問題ないと思うけどね。
We weren't getting anywhere by talking like this, so I mustered up my courage and stepped into the large building.
GPM 本部へようこそ。アンシャンテご一行様。と、結構な大所帯で来たね。でも、以前の衝突を考えると、最低限の警戒はして当たり前か。
Oh, no, that's not it. Canis is a fairy like Karya, and Mazir has advice considering how long he's lived.
イグニスは彼が暴走した時の保険ってところかな。人数が多いのは問題ないさ。それじゃあ本題の前に、簡単にこのビルについて説明しておくよ。
This building, the GPM headquarters where Mr. Rindo is stationed, is a skyscraper with 27 floors above ground and 3 below. The floors are separated by department, like general affairs, intelligence, R&D, etc. And the lower floors house convenience stores, cafes, and restaurants. Wow. We walked through the building, guided by Mr. Rindo, as he talked about it to us. On several occasions, we passed by the staffers, walking by us and talking while they held cups of coffee in their hands. The more I see, the more this just feels like a little trendy office.
福利厚生をきちっとしてないと国家機関も成り立たないってことさ。
Hard to say.
危険が伴うならなおさらね。
Hard to say for America, but no. He's right. I could hardly handle the environment at my last job and ended up quitting because of it. Is this everyone's first time at the GPM?
おう、正直イメージと違えな。てっきりもっと怪しい雰囲気っつうか、ジメジメした雰囲気だと思ってたぜ。
Oh my god.
開発家のフロアに行けばご期待通り怪しい雰囲気満載だけどね。ロボに魔法陣、陰陽寮での術者もいる。とはいえ、別に毎日人外を捕獲したり、争ったりしてるわけじゃないよ。平和的な解決ができれば、それに越したことはないしね。
I bet. I think looking at everything here is changing my perception of the GPM. I've heard a lot about the GPM by now, and I've been intimidated by anyone from the GPM besides you, Mr. Rindo.
それならよかった。呼び出した甲斐もあるってものだね。
A short while later, word traveled that Mazir and the other non-humans were here, and people started to notice us.
おっと、ここだね。
Mr. Rindo stops in front of a single room and turns towards us. So, Karya's in here?
だいぶ参ってたから、今検査担当者に預けて、ちょっと休憩してもらってるけどね。
Poor kid.
それじゃ扉を開くけど、準備はいいかな、琴音ちゃん？
Yes. I don't know what sort of decision Karya will make in the end, but the time I spent with the customers from alternate worlds certainly wasn't a waste. With the normal and abnormal getting together, forming friendships, I knew I'd be able to show him it's possible after sharing my experiences. With that thought, I nodded.
遅い遅すぎるよリンド天才の1秒は黄金よりも重いって格言を知らないのかね
Oh
まあ
no.
今僕が考えた格言なのだが
A voice rang suddenly from the other side of the door.
今の声は
It wasn't Karya's, was it? Who is that?
おっとこの僕を知らないとはなんて無知かつ哀れな
Rindo couldn't warn us beforehand.
ならば教えてあげようじゃないか
With a booming voice, the door flew open, and out came a very strange-looking person. He wore a white coat that seemed a few sizes too big, the fabric even flapping behind him.
さあ歴史に残る気がする僕の名を存分に丹念に脳細胞に刻みたまえ
He held a doll that looked like a fox.
僕こそ人外研究の第一人者にして GPM の頭脳こと開発家の課長
Oh god. And what stood out most, he was tiny, a full head shorter than me.
天才科学者帝明
With all of his bravado, I couldn't see who was before us as more than a kid with a doll.
リンド、ここの警備はどうなっている子供が紛れ込んでいるようだが。
君たちがそう思う気持ちはよくわかるんだけどね。でも残念なことに、こいつの発言は大体本当なんだよね。こう見えて、とっくに成人してるんだよ、帝は。
He knew I didn't believe it from the way I looked at him. He shrugged his shoulders at us.
人を外見で判断するとは愚かの極みだね。まさに凡人の発想というか、人は見た目より心と頭脳だよ。ね、くーちゃん。
After he bends his head down to talk to his doll, he turned to us, or rather, to Mazir.
さてさてさて、君たちのことはよーく知っているよ。リンドウがいろいろと報告してくれたからね。魔王に首なし騎士。残念ながら打天使くんはいないみたいだけど。しかーし、君たち2人だけでも大変興味深い人外だ。ぜひ後で話を聞かせてくれたまえ。
He just totally ignored Ignis.
自然にイグニスの存在を無視されたような気が
Me
す
and
る。
Kanas just on the same page. Come to think of it, Ignis had been oddly quiet the past few moments. As I turned around with that on my mind, I saw him there with a disgruntled look on his face, as if he swallowed something nasty. Ignis, do you know this person?
GPM はベスティアにたまに調査へ来てやがるからな。そん時たまたま遭遇してよ。
Oh no.
そう、遭遇して最強の魔獣にして貴重な個体である彼とお友達になったというわけさ。
会うたびに採血させろとかいう関係はダチとは言わねえんだよ。
Nazir couldn't help but smile awkwardly at Mikado's excitement.
まあとりあえず話進めよう。彼女もさっき大真面目に扉開こうとしてたんだしさ。
As we were trying to deal with the situation.
帝明。
Oh!
いつまで無意味な時間稼ぎを行うつもりなのか。詳細なる時刻の提示を要求する。
The new figure that appeared from the door grabbed Mikado's head with a great force. Judging by his voice and height, he was a young man, around Ignis's age, I think. But his appearance, with his face and entire body covered in a hood and cloth, surprised me a bit.
あれ、君って確か最近採用された
助手くんじゃないか。あはは、奇遇だね。
矛盾を指摘する。ここで待機せよと指示したのはお前のはずだ。帝明。
ああ、んだよ、また新顔かよ。
This is so ridiculous. What's happening?
案ずるな。名乗るほどのものではない。役職はこれの助手である。そして私はこれと違い、時間の無駄な消費を良しとしない。
The man, ruthlessly calling Mikado a thing, began to hand Mr. Rindo paper after paper.
安倍刈谷に関する情報を各種まとめておいた。あとはそちらで話を進めるといい。
So fucking weird. As soon as he finished his work, the man immediately walked away. He's very pragmatic, isn't he?
へえ、有能な助手だな。暴走しがちなお前もコントロールしてるし、いい拾い物じゃないか、帝。
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed.
ああ、まあその通りだね。
No. Except he doesn't work very well with others. Mr. Mikado quietly mumbles. I see. Maybe that's the reason why he hides his face. At a glance, he was scary and looked suspicious. But Mr. Rindo talked to him normally. If he's employed as part of the agency like a GPM, I'm sure he must be decent.
さてと、それじゃあこれを参考に仕事の話に戻ってもらおうか。
ああ、仕方ない。では入る前に最低限の説明をしておくよ。
Taking a few of the sheets from Mr. Rindo, Mikado began talking, kind of awkwardly.
昨日今日と彼の同意を得た上でいろいろ調べさせてもらったけど、確かに彼の体は同年代男子の体と比べていろいろと差異があった。特に顕著なのは体中心温度。30度というのはあまりに低すぎる。常人なら低体温症と言える数字だよ。
Don't worry, I'm looking it up already. Oh, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. 30 degrees? I can't imagine being so cold. The lowest mine ever went was 35.
しかしその一方で、精神鑑定の結果の方は間違いなく普通の人間を指し示している。
やはり体は人外だが心は人間ということか。
だからこそ対応が難しいんだよ。GPM の立場としてはね。あくまで彼は先祖返り。人間の両親がいるのは間違いないんだし、人外と呼ぶことすら迷うところなんだ。
Leaving that comment with us, Mr. Rindo stands at the door where Karya waited.
前置きはここまでにして、あとは直接本人と話すとしようか。
All right. Nodding and readying myself yet again, I wait behind Mr. Rindo. However,
待ちたまえ。そこを開く前に大事な話がある。
ugh, what? For some reason, Mikado placed his hand on Mr. Rindo's arm, stopping him.
帝？
この扉の先には君たちの予想していない状況が待ち受けている。だから踏み込む前にいくつか約束してほしい。
What? Okay.
随分と厳重だね。それでその約束っていうのは？
Looking over all of us in bated breath, Mikado slowly puts together his thoughts.
まず中の様子を見ても慌てない。焦らず落ち着いて対応すること。
What did you do to him? Okay.
できるだけ感情を荒げないこと。冷静さを失ったら判断を誤ってしまう。
Right.
そして一番大事なのは怒らないこと。特に僕を怒らないこと。
Huh?
よし。実はあの少年安倍刈谷君なんだけどね。目を離したらいなくなっちゃった。はは。
I'm gonna kill this man. Wait a minute. That aide earlier mentioned something about buying more time. Why would you? Oh my god, you idiot! Oh my god. No. We have to go find this kid right now. He could be dying in a corner somewhere. This dark night dimmed even the moon. The only light came from the lanterns on the street. The sun had long left the sky, and the moon had taken its place. Karia Abe wandered listlessly through the dark streets like a ghost.
なんだよ。なんだよ。妖精とか異世界ってそんなファンタジーな話誰が信じるかよ。
But no matter how much he denied it, his body had experienced it. That horrendous feeling of his consciousness and life melting away. The fairy world Medio. And how, for a moment, he was freed from it all after breathing the air from that place. Grasping onto a tree by the road in hopes of calming his anger down, a cold air fell over his grip and the trunk began to frost over. I did it again. Seeing how much of a human he clearly wasn't, Karia jerked his hand away.
違う。違う。俺は人間だ。
Oh my god, I hate the scientist guy so much. How could you let this 14-year-old kid, he's literally a child, walk around, like, in the streets? He's a danger to himself, he's a danger to other people. How could you do that, you fucking idiot? I'm
あの
so
地獄から
mad.
解放されて父さんと母さんに息子として人間として認めてもらった阿部カリアだ。
However, if it were all true at this rate, he would die before his own parents.
死にたくない。でも家族を手放したくない。なんでだよ。なんで両方選んじゃダメなんだよ。俺はどうすればいいんだよ。
You're freezing a whole town! The more he cried, the more the area around him turned into a world covered with ice from his freezing breath. Oh god, someone. Oh god, this is so bad. This is so bad. Fucking. I'm so mad at the stupid. You would think that their security is so much better than it is. Ugh. And he was stalling for time. This fucking. Oh god, we could have caught. Alright. After realizing Karia had disappeared from the GPM headquarters, we all split up and went around searching for him. Mikado and the other GPM staff searched inside of the headquarters building. Mizir contacted Eel, and both began search using their powers. Kanis and Ignis went into Shinjuku, and on a hunch, Mr. Rindo and I came back to this town.
家族にこだわってたみたいだし、自宅周辺にいると思ったけど、これは外れかな。
Still, I can't think of anywhere else Karia would be. Hello?
ああ、通じましたね。リンド、ことね。今どのあたりでしょう。現在地を教えてもらえますか？
Yeah. Eel's voice was as calm as ever. I immediately turned the phone to speaker mode so Mr. Rindo could hear him as well. I then sent him our GPS location. And then...
ちょうど良い位置にいますね。先ほどから私もアンシャンテを中心に周囲を調べてみたのですが、その付近、前回リンドウがカリアと遭遇した場所にて異常なほどの気温低下を確認しました。
A decrease in temperature? Could that be...
カリア君だね。でも倉庫の中だけじゃなく、周辺にまで影響を及ぼしてるってことは。
Oh god.
おそらくですが、妖精の力が暴走しているのでしょうね。とはいえ、私ならばすぐに追いついて彼を捕獲できますので、ご安心を。
Mr. Rindo crosses his arms and thinks over Eel's suggestion. His voice changed a little, as it seemed he had come to make a decision.
いや、いる。君はミシェルたちに連絡しつつ、 上空で待機してくれないかな。できればその氷の力とやらを結界か何かでそれ以上広げないよう抑えてくれると助かる。彼には僕が向き合うから。
なぜですか？ただの人間であるあなたよりも私が出た方が確実かつ安全
Are
で
you
しょ
like a
う。
bird eel? You're just gonna swoop down and catch this child?
もっともな意見だけどね。彼はまだ半分人間なんだ。人間であることを諦めていないんだよ。なら同じ人間の大人である僕こそが彼を導いてあげなきゃいけない。
Mr. Rindo, as he spoke quietly, please be careful or don't push yourself. Don't push yourself, because last time you nearly fucking got your blood frozen over. So really, this is what I want to say. I'm just gonna say it. Right. Akaria's a kid and you're an adult, but no matter how old you are, you're still one of my guests and someone I cherish. So please, don't push yourself.
ありがとう。いいね。GPM 職員じゃなくてお客として扱ってもらえるのは。
It was a really hard call, but in the end, I nodded to Mr. Rindo in agreement with his idea. Eel, if something happens, I'm gonna ask you and everyone for help. For right now, I hope you can get behind Mr. Rindo and his point of view.
構いませんが、ではミシェルたちには私の方から連絡しておきます。
Off we go. After hanging up, I looked at Mr. Rindo. Mr. Rindo, let's go.
OK。じゃ、こんな夜分にうろつく不良少年へお説教しに行くとしようか。
Dad! Oh no, it's raining again. The weather was quick to change, and raindrops began to fall from the sky. Mr. Rindo and I ran through the rain and quickly reached the old abandoned factory. And there we found him. It wasn't a feeling, it was real. A terrifyingly cold chill ran across my skin, as if protected by the white, freezing air that hung over the warehouse. This child froze everything around him with each breath he took. Karya. I could see it in his eyes. The composure I'd seen yesterday was no longer there. Thinking about fairies, what he should believe in, being afraid of his past, I'm sure he was blind to any of those thoughts right now.
もともとも不安定というか限界だったんだろうね。
It's because he was mentally exhausted that all of this happened?
かな。まあ今後の人生の身の振り方なんて中学生が抱えきれるような問題じゃないよね。
Determined, Mr. Rindo softly continued.
どれだけ拒絶しようと答えは出さなきゃいけない。出すための一歩を踏み出さなきゃいけない。考えることを放棄したら最後なんだ。その先にあるのは虚しい結果だけ。だから僕は今から彼に教えなきゃいけない。同じ人間として。あとはいろんなことを後悔してきた人生の先輩。大人としてね。
Mr. Rindo.
琴音ちゃん、君はここで待ってて。幸い彼、自分の身を守ってるだけで近づかなければ大丈夫そうだし。
You know, Rindo, every single time I tell you this, just in case you forgot about the last time you were pinned down and almost friggin' died, Mr. Rindo continued, his breath white from the cold as he smiled.
君には彼が大暴れして疲れた後、美味しいコーヒーを入れてあげる役目を任せたいんだ。
Of course. Enchanté is always there to treat its guests to a delicious coffee and a nice place to rest.
いいね。それでこそアンシャンテのマスターだよ。
Smiling, even though he was worried about me, Mr. Rindo turns toward Karya.
さてと。
Bro! In this intense cold, he took off a layer under which he was hiding something. He held up a weapon and then...
それ
He threw it to the ground without hesitation. Surprised at this action, Karya's eyes were obviously shocked.
この間は怖がらせちゃったからね。そのお詫びもあるけど、もとより子供へのお説教に武器なんて必要ないさ。
Wee woo wee woo. This is your Puffalada trigger warning. Yes, there is a trigger warning for this, which is unfortunate because everything was going well and then it started going not so well. So, if you guys don't want to see a little blood and someone in a lot of distress, then please skip to the time shown on the screen. And if you're okay with it, then let's continue watching what Mr. Rindo does best, which is put himself in danger. Great. Mr. Rindo walks forward. He advanced towards Karya, defenseless as ice kept spreading everywhere. Oh god. Oh god! Ice flies by and grazes Mr. Rindo's face. But he doesn't try and dodge them. He just continues walking straight, directly towards Karya. But eventually, it's too much. Coughing, he fell to his knees, and as he was about to lose consciousness, Mr. Rindo! I called to him without thinking. He woke.
おお、危ない危ない。今なら眠ったら死ぬぞとかいうお決まりのセリフの意味がわかるかも。
Oh my god! Under biting frost, he forced his frozen face into a smile.
でもいいね。あの子の声はこんな場所でもよく通る。おかげで目が覚めたよ。
Mr. Rindo finally reached Karya and stood there right before his eyes. Although he did nothing but stand there, staring right into Karya's face, unable to withstand the pressure. It was Karya. Blasting white frost everywhere, fresh blood splatters the surroundings. The arm Karya put up to protect himself went limp. Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god, is he dying? Mr. Rindo? Mr. Rindo grunted, with sharp blades of ice thrusted into his body. Oh, Jesus Christ! The blood spilling from him left swirled marks on the ice. This is a picture.
さすがに君もここまでのことはしたことないだろう。
違う。今のは俺じゃ。
Oh my god! He's fucking dying! He's dying! After Mr. Rindo struggled to speak, Karya crouches down on impulse. Trying to shake off the reality of the situation, he began to shake his head too.
アベカリア
His shout echoed throughout the building.
逃げるな僕をよく見ろこれが考えることを放棄した君がもたらしうる結末の一つ君が容易に震える力なんだ命が危ういとかどこに住まうべきだとかこの際今はどうでもいい自分が何者なのかを直視しろ
俺は
Oh my god, send Rindo to the hospital!
でなければ君はまた同じことを繰り返すことになるぞ今度は大事だと思う人を相手に
Karya gulped down in shock.
これが俺父さんと母さんを傷つけるかもしれない存在
ああそうだよ逃げて逃げて逃げ続けてふと気がついた時にそんな悲劇が起きてからじゃ遅いんだ自慢のご両親なんだろう君の力を知ってもなお受け入れてくれた人たちなんだろ
Bruh, God, he's like so strong to be able to talk through while being stabbed.
なら少しでいい。彼らが認めてくれた自分が何者であろうと変わることはないって。
Tears streamed from Karya's eyes. The drops hit the ground silently.
ごめん。
All the ice around us started to break apart. At the same time, the shards of ice that pierced Mr. Rindo broke apart as well. His body fell to the ground. Oh my fucking god, he's dying! Mr. Rindo! I ran over to him and held him up, but that didn't change the fact that he had serious injuries.
俺のせいで。
Karya knelt beside me and looked like there was still a terror lingering within him. Then, with his face all twisted, clearly showing the severity of his injuries, Mr. Rindo forced himself to smile.
泣かなくていい。反省は後でいいさ。ともかく今、また君は多くの力を使ったんだ。早いところメディオに行かないと。ダメだこれ。さすがに限界。コトネちゃんごめん。あと任せた。
Bro, you stupid fucking idiot! Oh my god, we have to call the hospital! Oh my god!
おい
Oh my god! Mr. Rindo? Right as Mr. Rindo had completely lost consciousness.
リンドって普段は適当なくせに妙なところで頑固だよね。
Can you guys fucking bring him to the hospital?
そんだけこのガキに思うところがあって自分で蹴りをつけたかったんだろ。
Monsieur Ignis, what do I do? Mr. Rindo, he...
ああ、大丈夫。ちゃんと助けるよ。すぐにアンシャンテへ向かおう。イルとカノスも手当ての準備をして待ってる。
Fucking get them here right now! I don't even think we can move him! He's like bleeding everywhere!
まあリンドは人間の病院の方がいいんだろうが、怪我の原因を追求されたらめんどくせえだろ。
大丈夫なの？この人死なない？
新規生化をすんなガキ。こんぐらいでくたばる程度のやつにアンシャンテの監視役なんて務まらねえよ。
Ignis effortlessly lifted up Mr. Rindo's body, and we hurried back to the cafe. Oh my god, this fucking... God. I guess we're gonna stop here. Oh my god, I'm so stressed out. My hands are sweating. I was so nervous. Like, especially, I'm so bad with these types of moments. Like, seriously, I was so shocked. I can't believe he got fucking stabbed. Oh my god, I really hope that he lives. I'm sorry, Rindo, I'm sorry I made all those dad jokes about you. Please don't die, I regret it. Oh god. Anyway, next episode, I guess we'll see if he lives or not. Jesus Christ.